Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today is July 19th, and this is a regular meeting of the members of the New York State Liquor Authority. In attendance is Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Kim, Commissioner Ford is in our Albany office. Staff in attendance is General Counsel Flug, CEO O'Brien, who is also in our Albany office, and myself, Acting Secretary Held. The next meeting dates are set for next week, July 26th, and then our dates in August are the 16th and the 30th. All meetings are held in our New York City office with video conferencing available in our Albany and Buffalo locations. Items will be called and the orders are signed in, or as my discretion, as you'll find out. First in Buffalo, then Albany, then here in New York City. When your matter's been called, please approach the podium and state your name clearly for the record. There'll be no oral argument on any matter wherein a 500-foot law hearing was held or a full disciplinary hearing was held by a hearing bureau. We do ask that you silence your cell phones. All right, and this is my discretion here. One of the first items we're going to call is 1632F. It's liquid interest. And there is people in Albany that have signed in also.
So this is being called because I believe
I have a mistake on Secretary's office part.
we
Notification.
failed to notify the opposition when it was on for reconsideration. So we're giving the opposition an opportunity to be heard. They have already been heard at the disapproval originally. So if they're going to reiterate what they've already talked about, I'm going to cut you off. We did take all of that opposition into account during the reconsideration hearing. We have all the submissions. We reviewed them all. But you're certainly welcome to have your say at this point. So Mr. Lynn, you want to go first?
Charles Lynn, representing Camillus Liquors, INC, and the representative up in Albany is Dustin Raymond, who is the manager of the premises. As the chairman has stated, it was represented by applicant at the last meeting that Camillus Liquors was a typical, quote, Costco store, unquote. Cases up to the ceiling, selling just brand labels, and whose wine tastings encompassed a portable table and a couple of fold-up chairs, a total misrepresentation of my client's operation. It was also appeared to me that the other three stores in the area, all only about 1 mile away from applicant, were not even relevant to the discussion. That they proved no real convenience or advantage to those people who were going to come to this plaza, and that none of the stores provided wine tastings, education, or assortment of inventory even close to the degree that applicant would be providing. The board appeared to accept this entire preface, which was totally misrepresented to them. All four store owners are now represented in Albany, and it's only towards that issue that we'd like to be heard.
Go ahead.
And I would hope they're up there.
In Albany, are they there?
Okay.
So go ahead.
Hello, board. My name is John Hallen, and Hallen's Liquor Store, and thank you for letting us talk to you. We feel that the board did not get a true representation of our community in the existing stores. At the appeal, the developer spoke about his wife having to travel to the other side of town to get certain brands. We all carry those said brands. He also said the geography of Syracuse was totally misrepresented. In Syracuse, you can get to all our stores in 15, 20 minutes. There's no traffic up in Syracuse. I feel his comments are kind of biased because he has a percentage of sales clause in the proposed tenant's lease. Our family's been in business for over 116 years, and we've continually grown and kept doing everything the community needs. I don't think there's any need for another store that's going to be only 4 minutes away from me. We carry 17% of our total wine SKUs are New York State wines. That equates to almost 300 New York State wines. It's continually changing. Our store develops more space and time to New York State wines. We like to provide everything we can for our consumers. I'd like the board to reconsider their decision and deny their application. Thank you.
Anyone else up there? No.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to appear before you today. As Mr. Hallinan just stated, my husband and I, the owners of the Savvy Wine Cellar, believe that there were several misstatements made by the parties at the June, legal interest parties made at the June 1st hearing. I'd like to address the case that, the situation where the liquid interest people contend that there was one brand, specific brand, namely Vogel Vineyards Phantom, that one of the principal's wives had to travel 20 miles to get. But I'd like to point out that we've stocked that wine for 5.5 years, and we are the second largest retailer of that wine in Onondaga County and have been for the past 5 years, selling 40 to 50 cases a year. Secondly, much of the talk centered on Liquid Interest plans to offer wine tastings and wine educations for its customers, which they stated is not currently available to the public. We feel that this is an outright lie. For the past 7.5 years, we have offered free wine tastings 2 to 3 times every week, wine education classes, and wine pairing dinners. And to offer proof of evidence, we have sent this board 3 separate packets detailing our classes, our calendar of events, and what we have been doing, not just recently, but for the past 7.5 years.
Excuse me,
Also
ma'am.
included in the packets to address
Excuse
this.
me. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I've reviewed the list of classes that you're offering, and I just see some problems with this. You've mentioned the foods, which is impermissible at a liquor store to be offering the meals that you seem to be offering, as well as you have classes with mixology and mixing drinks, which you can't do at a liquor store as well. And it seems that some of them are free, but the other ones it seems like you're charging for, which is also impermissible.
Excuse me, ma'am, we do not charge for anything. We have never charged for anything. If there is a wine pairing dinner at a restaurant where we select the wines for the chef owner, the restaurant charges the patrons attending the dinner, and we receive nothing back. It's just a business customer relationship between a partnership between local businesses and the Savvy Wine Cellar with no remuneration involved, just goodwill.
This class, Mixology 101, February 25th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Is that at your store? And it says, mark this night on your calendar and register for this class with certified sommelier. He's back, and this time he's going to show us how to prepare amazing cocktails. Is that mixing drinks at the liquor store?
Yes.
That's impermissible.
Not mixing them, but showing them how to make them.
And that you're allowed to do tastings at the store, tastings of the product from the bottle, not mixed with something else.
Right, that's what we did.
We're getting off the
Yeah, I
topic.
know, and I understand what you're saying. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry. Lastly, the principals of Township 5 and Liquid Interests at that June 1st hearing spoke about the fact that Township 5 draws people from as far away as Watertown to the north and Binghamton to the south. While this is probably true, we're asking you, why does this matter? The people driving an hour and a half to this mega plaza are driving those differences more than likely to shop at the Costco store and not to purchase alcohol or attend wine tastings and then getting back on Route 81 or whatever direction, or the thruway. That said, the current 4 stores here represented here today are within 1.5 miles of each other and provide 16,000 square feet of retail liquor space, and in our case, a lot of wine education opportunities. Last December, the board agreed that this was enough, and that the needs for the local Camillus community were being served, and we asked that based upon what Mr. Hallinan has said here today and what our fellow retailers will present to you today, we ask that because of these facts that you reverse your decision. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
I had a quick question, ma'am.
Yes.
How do you have a dedicated tasting area, and if so, how big is it?
Yes, we do. sir, we have it's not a fly-by-night operation. Our tasting bar is 10 feet long, and it is made of one solid piece of cherry wood that was handmade by a local cabinet maker.
So would you consider your dedicated tasting area to be approximately 40 square feet?
At least, yes, sir.
At least much bigger than that?
No.
Okay, great, thank you.
We also have regular wine tasting glasses too, sir, with our business logo imprinted on it. No plastic cups.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Dustin Raymond. I am the manager at Camillus Liquors at the Township 5. And I would like to state personally, I'm there 5 to 6 days a week working, and honestly, I don't see the traffic as big as needed to host a second liquor store. I feel as though the space could be utilized something more important for the community that is currently not served at the Township 5. And as we do, I work register as well to help out, and we ID everybody, and we notice most of the IDs either say Camillus, Fairmont, Syracuse. 80 to 90% of our customers are either repeat customers, fairly new customers, but are all local customers. We see almost once or twice a week. We do provide tastings. Yes, we do use bowling tables, but we do have tablecloths. We do them Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturdays during the day, Sundays during the day. As you can see, we sent over our calendar. We feel because it's easy, they're now next to the product. Every customer can see them, it's visible, they get around to them. The people who do the tastings are either from the Hart Agency or another agency or supplier or distributor sales rep themselves, so they're very familiar. I already have 10 years experience in liquor retail sales. My assistant manager has 10, 15 years in food pairing by managing restaurants and working with caterers and distributors. And my supervisor was an assistant winemaker for 2.5 years and bartending. So it's not just a store to come in, grab your stuff yourself, and go out. We more than wealth and knowledge from ourselves to help out. We do provide free tastings, and we do provide educational training to any new hires and staff for our own about new products, so they may know what to provide for the customers of the product. Thank you.
And do you have a dedicated tasting area?
We don't have a dedicated tasting area. Like, we do use the tables, but we do put on a tablecloth, so
Okay.
it's not just kind of plain, and we leave it next to the product. But we put it right in the aisle next to the product so every customer can see it. So they have the opportunity to say yay or nay, so it's not forced, and it's very extremely visible for every customer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Raymond Rudolph, and I'm with the owner of Plaza Liquor Store in Camillus, and our store's been there for about 50 years. I've been there for 40. One point I'd like to make in terms of Dustin's presentation, I heard, but I'm not 100% sure, that a point was made at the last meeting that a Costco card was required to shop in Camillus Liquor Store, and that is not true.
That
It would
was
be
not,
illegal.
that was never said.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. We have close to 200 SKUs of New York State wine. We're doing wine tastings on a weekly basis, and they're very fruitful. People come in, they look forward to them. And another point that I would like to make is that we felt that when Camillus Liquors was granted a license, it was to replace a license that was already in the area, and there hasn't been any great growth in population. And we feel that we service, as you've just heard from all the presentations of the various stores in the area, we feel we serve our area very well. And our customers do go down and shop in that area, and our customers, we don't trade around amongst all the stores. So they're really, we don't feel there's a need for another store. We hope that you would consider overturning your decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's it. Yes, that's it.
You,
Since we are limited on the amount of discussion, I did present an entire package with regards to what I felt were misrepresentations in my client as well as the other store owners on my second supplement filing with the Liquor Authority. I pretty much went over each of the different criteria and factors that I thought were not fully vetted for the reconsideration. I don't think there's any need for me to repeat it, but it was quite, I believe it was quite an extensive presentation with regards to what I believe the board did not really take in any relevant factors with regards to the other three stores, because from what I remember on the hearing, there wasn't much discussion about the other three stores. It was basically taking the words of Commissioner Kim, that there was a great concern about having the Camillus 2 in that plaza. So I would basically look to that issue of relevancy. I mean, these stores are only 1 mile away. The board has considered stores that are 5, 6, 8 miles away. And Syracuse also, from what I understand from the clients, I don't know the specific number, but the county itself has something like 40, 45 liquor stores within the area. And you do have the big Carrier Dome, the Carrier area, only 7 miles away. So, it's not that this one development is going to bring in all of these different people. There's an enormous number of other facilities and venues that are available to them.
Okay, thank you. You want to say anything?
Sure. Good morning, Board. My name is Benjamin Korngat. I'm the attorney for the applicant. I'll keep my remarks brief, as we went over most of these points in great depth at the June 1st hearing. I just want to point out something quickly, that with regards to the fact that the opposition was not heard, we recognize that Mr. Lin was misinformed about the date of the meeting, but the we were originally scheduled for reconsideration on May 24th. That meeting was canceled and moved to June 1st. We were not specifically notified of that move. It was just on the publicly available calendar. So we question why the 3 other stores weren't aware of that move from May 24th to June 1st.
I'm taking the blame for that, whether it's accurate or not, but that's on us.
Okay, we just wanted to raise that briefly. And then to give you a progress update since the June 1st meeting, we have moved full steam ahead with the project. The applicant has redrawn plans based on the stipulations imposed at the June 1st meeting to reduce the square footage. They have entered into contracts totaling approximately $10,000. The developer has also entered into contractual commitments totaling approximately $100,000. They're scheduled to break ground within the next 30 days on the project. So at this point, it would be very difficult to put a full stop on this project. And just very quickly to address some of the points raised, there were a lot of allegations of misrepresentations, but in terms of the comparison to Camillus Liquors, they keep making these general claims about the number of SKUs they carry and the brands they carry, but we haven't heard any specifics about the SKUs. We submitted that we will carry 2,500 SKUs, and they have approximately 300 SKUs. We haven't heard any concrete evidence of anything contrary to that. As you pointed out, we never said that you are required to have a Costco ID to enter into Camillus Liquors. We merely stated that the shopping experience was similar and the customers drawn to the store were intended to be mainly from the Costco warehouse. And just finally, on the Genesee Street stores, as you pointed out, their objections were raised at the December meeting and in numerous materials submitted since then, so we have confidence that you have taken them into account. When we were talking about a folding table and tasting areas, we were talking specifically about Camillus Liquors. We never said that those stores did not conduct tastings. We recognize that they do. And our main point with respect to those stores is that given the scope of the Township 5 development, the money invested in the exit and entrance ramps in the project, that essentially this store is going to be drawing from a different base from them, despite the fact that they're 2 miles, 1.5 to 2 miles away. And based on all of these factors, we find that there's no new evidence has been presented, which should make the board find that this is not in the public convenience and advantage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I make one more point? I should wait, Jim.
Pardon me?
May I make one more point?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, this is Ray Rudolph again from Plaza Liquors. At the risk of getting my friends in the room very angry at me for stating this, but I just wanted on record that I called the developer about 18 months ago to find out what was going on, and the developer mentioned to me that they were looking for a wine store to open up and not a liquor store. They already knew that they had Camillus Liquors there. And I really believe strongly that there's good reason that you should consider overturning your decision for the store. But another position that you might choose to take in terms of a settlement might be to limit the store to being a wine store and not a liquor store. And putting a proviso on that license could not be, a license change could not be put forth as long as the Camillus Liquor Store held its spot as it rightly has for 2 years now. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Not really.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Yes, it says here that the applicant has received the backing of local town of Camillus officials. In what form has that backing come?
You guys want to, can you guys answer that?
We don't know.
I'm not sure where it says that.
Where are you getting that information from our submission?
I'm reading that in,
Page 8 of Peter Freer's comments, it says applicant has received the backing of local town of Camillus officials.
yes, that's what I'm asking. Where is that
Here,
from?
you guys, here.
Top first line. I got lucky, I just flipped to that page.
So did I.
What does that mean?
So that would mean,
Into the microphone, he can't hear you.
that was a reference to Michael LaFleur, who's a town of Camillus councilman.
Who is or who was?
Who is. Michael Luber, who is Republican town chairman. Primarily those two local town officials.
Okay. Anything else?
Is this anything in writing or was it just said?
Nothing in writing, just emails, forms of encouragement to pursue this opportunity in this retail store.
All right.
Emails, so it is in writing.
Yeah.
Is it in writing, in emails?
We do have some emails, yes, sir. Yeah.
So I do have a question. For the people opposing, so aside from Savvy Wine Cellars, do any of you have a dedicated tasting area?
My store is 8,000 square feet, and we had a local contractor build us these really cool barrel tables, and we move them over to the displays or the area of who's tasting. So if we got a New York purveyor in, we bring them over by their display, so it's easier to move the product. When we have one area, we've been in the business long, we used to have the set area, we find it's easier to move the area to where the product we're focusing for that day's event.
We have a set area at the front of our store. We put a table up front right when people come in, and it's worked very well. We've done this for many years now, and the vast majority of our wine tastings are New York State wine tastings.
Well, you know, because I'm looking at your submission from the applicant, and the reason why I'm focused on the dedicated tasting area, because I think that was one of the major factors that allowed me to come to grips with, you know, reconsidering and changing my original position. And here you stated that aside from Savvy Wine Cellars having approximately 40 square feet of tasting area, the other three stores did not have a dedicated tasting area. So I was just trying to understand that, and which is why I'm asking questions, whereas you're going to have a 200 square foot dedicated tasting area. So I guess we can start debating what dedicated means, but I was under the impression that they don't very much do much tasting, which I don't think is true. I think they do.
Not true.
They do regular tastings. It's just, but it is, I guess, technically true that you don't have a dedicated tasting area set aside like they would. So that's a distinguishing factor.
Or full-time sommelier.
Or a full-time sommelier. I mean, I think that makes a big difference as well. So, all right. Well, you know, from yeah.
The submission back?
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
I think it is unfortunate that the notice wasn't done at the same time. It would have been better in all cases to get both sides of the argument heard at the same time. That being said, the submissions, we've reviewed them, I've reviewed them, and I'm going to stick with my vote, my latest vote.
Your first vote or your second vote?
My latest vote.
I too am going to stick with my most recent vote to approve it. And, I want to be clear that while, as Mr. Lynn pointed out, we did focus, and I focused more on Camillus Liquors, we were aware and certainly familiar with the arguments of the other stores. And I took all of those objections into consideration last time. I mean, this wasn't like that they weren't thought about. We had all of your submissions, and I reviewed them all, as did Commissioner Kim and Commissioner Ford before the last vote, which is why we had the stipulations we did, which is 20% New York products, full-time sommelier, longer hours than the Costco, and we made it a 4,000 square foot store instead of 6,000, or almost 6,000. I found that the township development was unique, and given the varied development itself, that what they were providing was a convenience and advantage to the public. So that was why I changed my vote, and I'm going to stick with it based on that. So, Commissioner Ford?
Well, I'm familiar with this place. It seems like it popped up overnight, this whole shopping plaza. It's right off of Route 5, one past Camillus. I go that way towards Auburn all the time. I don't necessarily agree that this would draw from Watertown to Binghamton. I don't see that. Not convenient to either location. But I'm new here, and I'm going to concur with my my other commissioners at this point. The vote is already made anyway, so I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Good luck.
Okay. Now go to Buffalo. I have item 1631, the Hot Shop. It's a request for reconsideration.
Step up to the podium, please, and state your name.
Hi, Bruce Bailey.
This is a reconsideration because you didn't originally have 50% of your public floor space selling commodities that's required for an A license. It looks like you've remedied that, so.
Commissioner,
Yes?
I'm sorry, I have the copy of the grocery store license stipulation in front of me, which includes a lot more than just one product. It actually says that it has to be food, including all materials, solid, liquid, or mixed, whether simple or compound, used or intended for consumption by human beings or domestic animals normally kept as household pets, and all substances or ingredients to be added thereto for any purpose. And then it goes to B, napkins, facial tissues, toilet tissues, foil wrapping, plastic wrapping, paper toweling, and detergents, soaps, and other cleansing agents, and non-prescription drugs. So I don't believe that the stipulation is written to where he would be in compliance. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, I had resubmitted new photos. The photos apparently I sent the first time were over. I don't know if they weren't in detail enough, but the new photos we have, in my opinion, all of those items.
Do you have
napkins.
Carrie, do you have the email from July 13th?
The last I saw was all of the hot sauces, so I may not have the most updated information.
I mean, we have pictures now of popcorn, nuts, water, soda.
Paper plates.
Yeah, there's some
plastic
paper plates,
utensils,
plastic utensils,
Band-Aids.
garbage bags.
Then I stand corrected.
So-
I mean, it's still close. I'm not going to argue that. And my concern is that if somebody goes in there in a year and none of this stuff is there, and I'll remember, that'll be the end of you.
And that's perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
But the concept of having all these different hot sauces is pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right, I'll vote to reconsider.
I'll vote to reconsider as well.
Same here.
All right, return to licensing.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
all- Thank you. Anyone else in Buffalo?
There's no other matters in Buffalo.
Okay.
Who's sitting back there?
They're together.
Oh.
Is there anyone else signed in for Albany?
No, there's not.
Thank you. Okay, on to New York. 1632E, Tipico NY Restaurant.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner. My name is Henry Warakomsky. This case was put off 2 weeks ago it's the Village of Hempstead case, and we had to get some documentation that showed that this establishment was a restaurant since 1980. And I think I submitted, there was an affidavit from the previous owner who operated it from 82 to about 2001.
And then what happened from 2001 again?
Yeah, there's it's been licensed. Do you have the information? I thought we sent it.
Yeah, no, we have the
that, I
affidavit,
thought so.
but.
No,
he
no,
asked-
but do you have the other information about the other licenses since 2001?
I don't believe we do have that.
I have it here.
You know that? Thank you.
I have a PSEG bill.
Liquor license effective date 1998. Rincon Tropical Corp.
Yeah, that's the furthest we could have got back on that ring
That's
con.
active 2001.
This was licensed, but I'm not, yeah, we'd have to go into the records to see what exactly it was licensed as.
Effective date, filing date, expiration date, 2010. Yeah, because,
Is it a OP or
Yeah,
what?
it's but it was class changed. It was originally EB, then it class changed somewhere before 2001 from an EB to an OP.
but then there's like a gap from 2002 to 2010. Was it
But if it
licensed?
was an EB, then,
It was an EB prior to that, yes.
Then it went to the OP. Hang
so
on.
then it's not fully OP back 35 years. Which is what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Well, continuously licensed, correct.
Continuously licensed as an OP, it has to be? Not just any,
No, just continuously licensed.
meaning it could be EB?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the statute says.
So between 2002 and 2010, was this place licensed?
Yes, I think it's one of the papers I gave you. I think it was,
No, I think so far what you've given me is it starts in 98, and license goes from 2000 through 2002, and then has an effective
shows from
date
2000.
2010 to 2012.
An answer, hang on a second.
So, and you're missing 2002 to 2010. And your affidavit that you submitted goes from 81 to 2002.
yeah.
So what happened between 2002 and 2010 was it continuously licensed?
I thought I submitted one of those.
Well, okay, I see here 2003 now, expiration 2003.
Was licensed to a Mansa restaurant, and then they went to 2012.
2002 to 2012?
And they were OP?
That was an OP, yes.
But then how come I have license status is
Those are
inactive?
just screenshots from our website. That doesn't give you history.
Oh.
That's a screenshot of
Okay, so 2002 to 2012,
yeah.
he was, yes, you can take this back, please. So it's continuously licensed? That's,
I want to check that law first.
Yeah, I believe it's just
It
licensed.
says the premise
Doesn't matter.
license and operating pursuant to this section, 64, under this chapter has been in existence. It cites to section 64, not to RWs or EBs. It says, "No license shall be denied to any premise which is within 500 feet of 3 or more existing premises licensed and operating pursuant to this section and Section 64A, 64B, 64C, and/or 64D of this article, at which license under this chapter and has been in existence continuously on or prior to November 1st, 1993.
Is there case law, do you think, out there? We'd have to adjourn it, but I'm not comfortable just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, the
I think
language.
decisions have been made, I'm sorry, counsel, I think decisions have been made based on the fact that it was continuously licensed over the years, not just as an OP.
Oh, we have in the past.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So you've proven to 2012 and then 2012 to 16 to current? We've had a license as well?
From 2012 to 2015, there was a license under El Típico.
El Típico.
That was the one that was canceled because of they violated the hours.
Got it. And what are your hours again?
10 a.m., I think we said 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock on Sunday to Thursday, and then 2 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, from 10 a.m. Those are the hours that the village allows, so,
That's what the village allowed?
yes.
The last place had very strict, there was opposition, I believe, to the license, and it had very strict hours.
We have
License
opposition
was-
here, too.
Yeah, when the license was granted, they were to close at 11 p.m. And that's not unusual for licenses that this board has issued in the town of Hempstead. And they continuously stayed open after 11 p.m.
So are we just deciding whether this is within 500-foot law and then sending back to licensing, or are we?
No, this is,
Oh, because it says request for direction.
They
it
all
always
say
says
request for
correct.
direction.
Okay.
Always says
It's
that.
not subject to 500 foot, but it's still the same.
I believe it is subject to 500 foot. I
You
don't
gotta
have
make the
any
call on that one.
specific thing to
Whether
cite
it's in
to
the
say
public
that it's
interest or
not.
good cause.
Has he met with the police department?
No, not yet. But this place had no problems with the police department all these years. The only
Well, it
violation.
got canceled. It had problems. I don't care if it was the police department or whatever. If we canceled a license, it had problems.
No, you canceled the license because they violated the hours.
I get that,
Okay, but it had
but
nothing to do with
we're in
the
the,
police
we're in the village of Hempstead, which doesn't want more of this. And I don't know whether your client knows that, but I know you know that.
Yeah.
So you would think that the prudent thing to do would have your client go and meet with the police department to make sure that maybe he could get them on board, because right now, they sent a letter to us asking us not to approve this.
Well, first, this wasn't my application. Mr. Gullo was the attorney, but he's very ill, so he hasn't been able to come in. He met with the village. He went to the village a couple of times to speak to the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor has a letter in there with his hours.
I mean, we can go to the police department. We have no problem with that.
Okay.
What are the hours you recommend?
Just to state on the record.
They're recommending, the village is recommending close Sunday to Thursday at 12 a.m. and Friday and Saturday at 1 a.m.
That's all right. We can do that.
Which is just odd, because that's longer hours than the previous place.
No music, no dancing. What's his music situation? What's he planning on
Jukebox.
doing?
They got a jukebox.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll approve under those conditions. But you just have to understand, this premise has a long history, and it was canceled, so these stipulations you're entering into will be verified very closely going forward.
He knows that with the hours.
Okay.
So what,
And the music.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll abide by those hours.
I'm going to approve as well. No music, no dancing, no promoters are all jukebox only music, no promoters, and the hours that we mentioned that the mayor asked us to impose.
That's 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
and that was his.
12 o'clock on the rest of the days.
Correct. Commissioner Ford?
No live music either.
No, just a jukebox.
I also approve under the same conditions as set forth by my fellow commissioners.
Okay, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Sixteen fourteen, Supernatural Wine Incorporated and Supernatural Wines NY LLC.
Good morning, Donald Bernstein on behalf of the current licensee and applicant. This is an application for an upgrade to full liquor. We were here in March and we got a split decision based upon case law of the Court of Appeals that is a denial, not on the merits. So we are back seeking approval of this corporate change application.
No, what?
I'm sorry.
What
not corporate
happened
change.
was that you went to a disapproval hearing.
Right.
Which upheld our decision on the same basis.
Yes.
So I don't, when I read this, I don't know what, I'm not going to re-review this again. I'm not, and I voted for it the first time, I recognize that, but that's not really, the process. Obviously, you have other outlets that you can pursue, but this isn't one of them, in my view. He can certainly reapply. We do have another commissioner, but I'm not going to reevaluate this again. I don't know whether you voted against it, so.
I'm not changing.
Well, we didn't have, it was a split, yeah.
The question before now is whether the board adopts the findings of the ALJ from the hearing.
Which I do.
There essentially are no, there's been no decision on the merits. The ALJ made no decision on the merits.
I understand that, and that was why I was somewhat, I think, how you decide to go about this is your business, obviously. But that was the decision. I mean, he's only required to get, was there a rational basis, and that's what he found.
Well, I don't think he found there was a rational basis based upon the case law, which said that when you have the split decision, there's no decision on the merits. So he did not make a finding on the merits.
Right.
He simply said that as a matter of technical legality, it has to be a denial.
Right.
So now we have three commissioners, and
that would be a reapplication. That's my point.
Well, it would be, I guess we're here on reconsideration. I mean,
you don't get, you get the procedure as I understand it in the agency is you do a disapproval hearing, which you have a right to by law, or you have reconsideration, which we have made a policy decision because it's quicker. You chose the disapproval hearing, and he did it. And I'm adopting those findings. Now, I'm not really going to go through this whole song and dance again, because once we do it here, and this is the only reason, once somebody goes the disapproval hearing route and they lose, then they're going to all want to come back for reconsideration, and it's not going to happen. I realize you have a split decision here, and that's why you're doing it, but it's, we're splitting hairs in that sense.
Well,
a split decision is a disapproval.
I understand that. It's a disapproval, not on the merits. I understand what you're saying. If we start over, we're going to be back here presumably in 3 months with the same paper, same argument. Nothing's changed. I'm not sure that's in anyone's best interest. We're here. You have the papers. I think you're more familiar with it now than you'll be in 3 months. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Chairman. I would request.
Well, I'm just telling you my view. I'm not going to speak for them, but that's my view. Is I would vote to adopt the hearings, the findings of the hearing.
And I request a council conference.
Yes. All right, so they took me in the back and beat me up.
You looked a lot
What I
shorter when
am,
you came
what
up.
I am, and I guess what we are willing to do, because I'm not going through this again, as I said, because I think it sets bad precedent. But because there is no decision by the ALJ on at least Commissioner Kim's vote, whether that was based on a rational basis or not, I will send it back for alternate findings. And you have to decide whether you want this, because to be honest with you, it's going to be quicker to reapply. Because you could end up in the same position you're at, which he finds his basis completely rational, in which case you're here again, and I'm going to adopt those findings, or could adopt those findings. I'm not telling you I will, because I haven't read them yet, which then makes the license application denied.
So you're sending it, you would send it back for additional findings by an ALJ?
Yes.
On the issue of?
The disapproval hearing, that he just ruled on the split vote, he did not rule on the vote itself. So I will instruct the ALJ to make findings based whether there's rational basis for Commissioner's Kim disapproval vote. Because I voted to approve, he voted to disapprove.
As opposed to whether there's a rational basis for your decision?
Yeah.
That's my problem with that.
I don't think they really examine whether we approve, they more examine whether we disapprove.
Well, you'd be questioning the disapproval. I mean, it's a disapproval
Yeah.
hearing, so you're
If I had to do
questioning
it again, I would not go for a disapproval hearing. That was.
No, I know,
No,
but that's your only option at this point. Or you can my other point is you can reapply, it'll get here a lot quicker.
Yeah, if those are my choices, I would prefer to reapply.
Okay.
So then what are we doing with this?
He's reapplying.
I know he's reapplying, so you're not going to send it for alternate findings?
No. And I will make sure that, we try to expedite this as quickly as possible.
Adhere to your prior vote?
Yes. So go ahead, Kerry.
Mr. Bernstein, the application is showing that there isn't a kitchen, but it's a restaurant. Is that an error?
Yes, I'm not sure where that's coming from. That was one of the issues. There is a kitchen. We spent a lot of time in March going through that. We brought in photographs. The ALJ that heard the 500-foot rule hearing said that he finds that it is in the public interest if, in fact, there is a kitchen. We brought our chef in last time who...
The establishment questionnaire reflects there isn't, and you can't see it on the diagram, so when you do reapply, you just want to make sure that that's clear.
That's on the upgrade or on the original beer and wine?
It's on the one that we have in front of us.
Okay, so that's clearly an error. That's clearly an error. We'll make sure that we
Okay.
I
make
searched
that
through
point.
and through for a kitchen, and I couldn't find one. I found where I thought where one might be, but I did
Yeah,
not see
it's
one.
on the plans, and we've also attached it in our latest submission as Exhibit I, photographs of the kitchen.
Okay.
There's a full
Commissioner
kitchen, but we'll
Kim?
make that clear. Will we,
Adhere to your prior decision?
can we apply the fee towards the new application, or do we have to
You
get
may
it
not.
refunded and?
Yeah, you have to be refunded and resubmit.
Okay, then I think that's what we're going to have to do, given those alternatives.
Commissioner Ford, your vote on this, or no vote? The other members are adhering to their prior determination. You did not vote on this.
What's he voting on exactly?
Do you want to pass?
Yeah, I'm wondering what I'm voting on, if it's going to be reapplied for.
Okay.
Are we voting on them? I'm confused.
I'll abstain.
Are you
Thank you, that's
withdrawing
better,
your
thank you.
request for the disapproval hearing?
I thought so.
And you said
yes.
no.
No, I'm adopting the
Oh,
hearing.
you're adopting the
Well,
hearing.
I thought you changed it to you just adhering to your prior vote.
But that's not before the members. And I think Mr. Bernstein just said he's withdrawing
I think
his
based
request
upon
for
the
this.
alternatives I was given, then we
Right, so
will,
why are you even needing
So
to
you
adopt?
don't have to vote.
So now you're
We don't
withdrawing
need
your,
to vote. They're withdrawing.
I think
and
that we are withdrawing and are going to refile.
Okay.
Right, so
It's
we're
not
going
my
to-
preference, but given those two choices, that would be my preference.
all right, so application.
So then we will see you again on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't need a vote. 1609, J&H Restaurant Corp.
Martin Miller of Miller Buscemi. Good morning. And I'd like to thank the chairman for allowing this presentation and that the cancellation has been held up until such time as I'm allowed to make the
Oh,
presentation.
why didn't we get the facts? Did we figure that out?
This is what I think
You
happened.
must fax 20 things to us a week. How do we?
I don't think
No, it
they
wasn't
were
a fax. I
faxed, though.
emailed. No, I emailed.
Oh, it was an email, okay.
No, FACT, I'm sorry,
And it was
facts.
from a different office. It was from a different attorney,
Yeah,
Jack
can I,
Posner.
Mr. Posner was supposed to be here. I just called him. He's stuck on the Cross Bronx. Apparently, there's some sort of conspiracy the past 2 days to not allow people into Manhattan from Long Island. So, whatever, he can't make it. I spoke to him at length. He sent this in. It apparently never got to the Liquor Authority. I believe that it probably did not get to the Liquor Authority, but he did send it in, and it was taken as a default. At this point, I think I will be taking this case over as to whether I would like to discuss with counsel's office the possibility of a settlement. But if that's not possible, I would carry it to a hearing, and I would
I
ask
would
that
have said that the CNC should have been for $3,000.
And that's actually what I have.
I don't disagree. I had nothing to do with this, and he did it.
Are
He
you
did it unilaterally.
authorized to submit a CNC for $3,000?
No, I'm not authorized to do anything at this point. I was just hoping that this would be reopened. Could we send it back to counsel's office?
Well, I mean, I granted the reconsideration because I obviously didn't think that it should be canceled, given that there was an attempt to contact us, but I didn't, in my mind, I didn't decide I was going to take the default away. I was just going to do a lesser fine because there was an attempt, and the fine I had in mind was what council had brought up, so.
Why is it so low compared to the 5?
From what little I know of this case, the first 2 charges relate to, actually, I'm sorry, the first 3 charges all relate to the same thing, and that is that there wasn't a security guard there on the night. There was a security guard, but he didn't allegedly have his card. I believe he did have a card, but I'm not in a position to tell you that as a fact. The 4th charge deals with having alcohol on the premises that wasn't permitted under the license. It's my understanding in talking to the licensee that this was in the kitchen. It's a restaurant. He was using it for cooking. I don't want to argue the facts of this case, but these first 4 are not egregious at all. They're technical in nature. The 5th one, I think relates to the first 4. In other words, it's accumulation of the first 4.
And that's why I had it as 3,000.
All right. So I mean, you're asking.
But there's still books and records.
The books and records relate to not having a security guard, and that's not a violation of 106 Subdivision 12. But I don't want to argue.
You can't accept anything anyway at this point, so we're just.
No, it's a fine. I'm reconsidering the cancellation in my mind. I was not reconsidering the default.
Okay.
This week, we had canceled and bonded.
So we're reconsidering this and then imposing a fine at this point?
That was what yeah.
Fine. So 3,000? All right, I'll do that.
3,000.
Commissioner Ford?
3,000.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
1580, Lewick Corp.
In Lewick Corp., the first 2 charges were not sustained. The 3rd charge, which relates to not permitting an inspection of the premises, I submit if it is sustained by you, it's technical in nature. The guard at the front door held the police up for a little while until the manager could show up. Once the manager showed up, the police admitted that the manager showed them the entire premises. As a matter of fact, the reason they came was because a phone was reported missing. They found the phone, and I would ask under those circumstances that if it's going to be sustained, that a minimum fine be given.
Yeah, so I have dismissing charges 1 and 2, and then for charge 3, given all the circumstances, I do think it's important to make sure that your security guards, whether they're licensed or not, or whoever's at the front door, permit law enforcement in right away, not having to.
I don't disagree.
Particularly when they call them.
Right.
No, I don't disagree. It was just miscommunication.
But given the circumstances and they let him in eventually, I'll just do 1,000.
I mean, I get it was only 30 seconds or whatever the amount of time it was, but that really.
2 minutes. It was 2 minutes.
That really upset me as a former prosecutor because who do these guys think they are?
I'm not going to disagree with your analogy. It's just that there was a miscommunication. As soon as the manager came over, all of
Oh, I
was
get that,
recognized.
and he was cooperative, but is the rule that no matter who comes to this door, don't let them in until I get there?
No, in fact, the man was fired the next day.
All right,
It
so
was,
what was your
1,000.
fine? All right, $1,000.
Commissioner
$1,000
Ford?
is good.
Okay.
$1,000.
thank you.
1632A, a Rising Banquet Catering Hall.
Charge was not sustained, dismissed.
Dismiss.
Okay, but what about?
Dismissed.
I'm sorry. What about the summary suspension? That has to be vacated. That was the basis of the summary suspension.
Yep.
We lift the summary.
Yeah, so lift the summary suspension.
Yep.
Charges dismissed.
Thank you very much.
Yes, vacate summary.
All right, we'll take care of that. 1597, Garrettson Beach Catholic Club.
Whoa, no, wait. What happened
Not
to Gary Cole?
Who? Oh,
1591.
91.
what did I throw him out?
I have 3 more actually.
You didn't sign that one
Oh.
off. So did they fix the wiring?
1591.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't call it in yet?
No, I didn't have it on my list.
I did sign in.
Whatever.
1591, Gary
1591,
Cole.
Gary Cole.
Mr. Mailer, they never followed up with the books and records.
What do you mean by never following up?
We never actually got them. I mean, he
I
never-
didn't know that, you mean the investigator wanted the books and records? I'm not,
I don't know that our enforcement ever said afterwards, hey, you didn't have them there, you said they were kept off-site, please produce them.
but if there had been a request by enforcement, I would have told them to comply.
I don't know if enforcement made the request or not.
I'm
but
pretty
will
sure they
be
did
making
not.
the request.
I'm sorry, what?
They will be making it.
Okay, in the future, let's make
So
this
is
explicit.
my question was, is the wiring fixed?
Everything has been fixed in the premises. Everything is up to code.
And you realize that pretty soon it won't matter what they're charged with?
I
I mean,
don't,
you said they got a pretty,
I understand, but these are technical, the
I
warning
know, but
signs.
at some point, the technical stuff is enough.
I hear what you're saying. I will so inform him.
All right, I'll accept the 3,500.
I'll accept.
I'll accept.
All right, who else did you have?
1583, the Mirador.
Yeah, I got that here, okay. Yep, 1583, maybe it's just written wrong.
Again, the violations here at best are technical, and I would ask that a very minimal fine be given. The warning signs are in fact $100 violations, and the pre-mixing, I mean, I'm
What's
not
the
going to...
problem with posting signs? They had a previous.
You know, if I want...
This is the third violation on this. It's
If
very
I
simple.
wanted, they do have it up. I don't know what happens. I mean, in some places, people just get their jollies ripping this stuff down. I don't know why.
Then he
I'm being
said-
very
Then he said
serious.
he got the sign that was illegal. He had a sign up, and he said he got it from us, and I don't, my belief is we don't have one that size. We wouldn't give out the illegal sign.
If you really want to get technical here, you brought the wrong charge. He did have the right side, the right size sign, and it was up there. The photograph that was shown was of a different sign. But again, he has his signs up there now. Everything is where it should be. There is also a problem with the city and the state having two different signs. I mean, they both say pregnancy. They both say.
I get it, but I don't make the laws.
I understand, but there are maximums of $100 because of
1,500.
1,500.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford?
And then finally, this was a case of my partner's, but he's
What
unavailable.
number is that? The finally one?
1625.
25 GMS lines.
Okay. 2,500 accept.
2,500 accept.
So I guess I accept. 60 bottles of wine, well, you don't know anyway. So
No, this is...
Okay, I'll accept.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It's not.
I
Wow,
would
word
have,
spread
spreads
fast.
fast.
I would have said something had it been.
Thank you, though.
1594 Eden Ballroom. Is that you? Come on up. Oh, you waiting for your attorney? Frank, the attorneys are not used to having us done early
So
enough,
quickly?
so we'll recall that one. And I'll end up recalling that one.
These all Palillo?
I got 2 Palillos, and then I have Terry Flynn coming too. How
So
about?
who's signing? Oh, his
One's here.
client signed them up.
Yep. How about 1632? Esquina 96? Esquina 96, it's Kuchara.
Jackie, can you give me a 2-minute break?
Sure, we'll take a short break.
While we settle through.
Is that Beatrice?
Yep, I'm doing that one now. Okay, we're back. Next item is 1608 Home Sweet Home Harlem. Come up. This is a request for reconsideration.
Hi,
Good morning,
good morning.
State your name for the record.
Donna Lewis.
Okay, I was okay with accepting the recon and countering with the 500 offer. I'll accept.
I'll accept. And
I accept.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let me just say, my restaurant is Home Sweet Harlem.
What do we call it?
Home Sweet Home Harlem.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's
Home
okay.
Sweet Harlem.
okay.
We
You're
actually
right.
have it correct on the paper. Our esteemed secretary read it incorrectly.
She was thinking of home, how to get
Yeah,
home quickly,
like, you
and
know,
yeah.
Yep. Well, I
Thank
wanted-
you
like,
so
I wanted to
much.
go
Thank you.
home. All right, thanks. All right, next is 1632, being dyslexic again. Esquina, 96. You're on.
The applicant is just she's on her way. Please for a moment. Just 2 minutes. Can you skip us, please?
Sure. All right. How about 1632C, TBI Manhattan?
I apologize. I thought it was the 1632.
We did say 1632.
I did.
Right,
Esquina.
TBI Manhattan.
Oh, now she called TBI.
Yeah.
Now I called TBI. You want,
My apologies.
Okay, then we'll.
yeah, I
get
did the
back
first one, so your client wasn't here. I
to
was,
1632.
1632, okay.
who are you here for?
My name is Michael Nackmius. I'm the attorney for Esquina 96.
All right, there you
It's
go.
a new license. My clients, I'm trying to get a hold of them. I can approach when they come back, or I can try and answer any questions as best I can. It's a new license for an Ecuadorian restaurant. There's no common ownership with the previous owner. They only want a beer. And
What are the hours proposed?
the hours are from, I believe, 10 to 3.
Yeah, so they want a family restaurant. I don't know why they need to be open until 3 a.m. given the issues that have been going on in this area. The previous license at this location was revoked, community boards strenuously objecting. So if they want any chance of opening a family restaurant, I think they're going to have to make their hours consistent with the concept of a family restaurant.
Yeah, we're more than happy to accommodate the community's needs and change the hours as the commissioners best see fit.
But did you go back to the community board for the RW?
The first time we went to the community board, it was for beer, wine, and liquor, which they did not approve of.
Right.
So we changed the application for just beer.
But did you notify them and did you go back to them?
I don't recall myself going back.
All right, so that's what the community board would like you to come back to them.
Is that what you don't have another recommendation from the community board after we change the application?
Well, there's a 2-year stop on the location.
Is that 2 years expired yet or not really?
No.
What? On the,
It's the
talking
location. Stop.
well, the stop on permit's not a prescription.
Right, right.
Prescription's 2 years.
What's their music situation now that you are here?
It's a recorded jukebox. There's no dancing.
No live music?
No live music.
No DJs?
No DJs.
No promoters?
Nothing like that. It's strictly an Ecuadorian restaurant. I have photographs if you don't have already of it.
Well, I'm sure they have a kitchen and there's photographs and we do have them, but there's plenty of restaurants that come in here and tell me they're restaurants and aren't.
Yeah, actually, the owner's here, so he could respond to any questions. You don't have any DJs or...
Can you put your name on the record?
Sure. Just
My
state
name?
your name for the record.
Celso Cedillo.
Are you aware of the history that was at this place previously?
I don't speak English very well.
Well, do you know this was a bad place before?
I know, yeah.
I don't know, what do you want to...
send them back to the community.
That's up if you want to. I don't think it's going to end up any different.
Right.
One of the things that came up at the community board meeting were the hours, and we would be willing to restrict the closing hours at this time without having to go to the community board. But the owner just wants to serve, beer along with, with the food at his family restaurant.
Yeah, before it's only bar.
So family restaurant, what time can you close? Midnight?
Is midnight okay?
No, at the weekend more, because the people coming little late.
Then it's not really a family restaurant.
Can we do midnight and then on a renewal?
No, what I want to know is what it's really going to be, because if you tell me and you told the community board it's going to be a family restaurants don't stay open
have
till
picture
3
for the
a.m.
restaurant.
No, I know,
No,
on the
he's-
pictures, I saw the pictures of the restaurant. I believe it's a restaurant, but I don't believe what you're telling me is it's a family restaurant if you need to be open till 3 a.m. every day.
No, every day now.
Or even on weekends. Do you have kids?
You know, the more Ecuadorian people at the weekends coming little
I know,
late.
but do Ecuadorian kids go eat to restaurants at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.?
Yeah, Ecuadorian and Colombian.
7, 8-year-old
Okay.
kids go eat at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. to restaurants in Ecuador and Colombia?
No, the kids, only the adults.
But that's what I mean. If it's a family restaurant, family usually describes where, you take kids and you go together as a family. That's the concept of why it's a family restaurant. If you want to be a restaurant that caters to people who are coming home late from work or people who are partying and then they want someplace to go eat, that's not a family restaurant.
I'm working before for 8 years in the other restaurant near to there. The people, they know for a long time to me. So the people coming, in the other restaurant, it's coming 11, 11:30, no kids, only adults.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm working in 37th Avenue and 92nd Street for 8 years.
Right. So no kids, but it's family restaurant.
And the night out, no kids.
Right, nighttime, no kids. But I think you're missing my point a little bit. Maybe it's the language, but the idea is if you call it a family restaurant,
Mhm.
then it means that you're inviting kids and place where people can bring their kids. And you don't need to be open till 3 a.m. So if you want to open up a family restaurant, then I would suggest you close by midnight.
Well, when we went to the community board, they were not supportive of us staying up until 3 a.m., no matter what we called it.
Right.
Because they felt that there were issues that were going on with the area.
That's why I'm suggesting midnight.
So I think.
What time do you want to be open on weekends?
And they going about 2. Depend the people. The people is eat or drink something, drink beer something. I need to wait little more time.
Well,
Council, you understand my point, though, right? Then don't call it a
absolute-
family restaurant. Just call it a different type of restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just call it a regular restaurant, but I'm just echoing the community board's concerns because we got a lot of pushback when we had the meeting.
Right.
I think maybe there's a disconnect because you can stay open past 1 a.m., but you just couldn't serve alcohol, or he actually has to close the
I think
business?
because of the history of this location, because of what's gone on in that neighborhood in general, that's why the community board's concerned about late hour closing locations that serve alcohol. So we're responding to that and saying if you want to be really this family type restaurant, then consider closing at midnight. And I would be comfortable in giving you an opportunity to start your business, prove yourself, and then you can come back a year later and we'll look at it.
That's exactly what I was going to recommend. The only thing I would ask for is maybe during the week we can do 12 and then 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday.
What do you guys think?
I'm agreeable with that. That seems reasonable.
I'm kind of stuck on midnight, but I don't know, whatever.
No, it's,
Just because of the location, that's.
I mean, there are houses, I'm looking in the picture, and there's houses within, 50 feet. And the concern, which I'm echoing what he said, is, and it appears to happen in this city more than most, is that these restaurants at 10 o'clock turn into something else. And I realize he's telling us he's not going to be that, but there's plenty of people that have come in here and told us the same exact thing, and then a year later we find out they did exactly what we were trying to avoid. So,
I think we should do what's best for the community, but at the same time, the idea of a trial run for the first year and to come back, and if there's no complaints, and to revisit the hours, I think that's fair.
no, I know what you think. I'm trying to
Well,
figure out if
I'm-
you can live with one or not.
I'd like to stay to midnight.
All right,
but
so
if-
midnight.
Midnight every day of the week.
Yes, at least, and, you are welcome to come back and ask for an alteration, what do you call that, Jackie?
Method of operation
Method of
change.
operation change in a year.
I mean, the community board asked us to send this back to them so that you can go back and apply, but instead, we're saving you that time.
Yeah, and you're welcome to do that and see if you can talk them into later hours, but my guess is you're going to get the same answer you got right now.
I think a track record is really what's going to prove
And they don't
any
tend
difference.
to, they like to call people back, but I don't anticipate any change, even though you made a change, so.
Right.
All right.
Now, just to clarify for the owner, could he still serve food after 12, or does he have to close his restaurant at 12?
Oh. The safest bet is to close the restaurant at 12.
Right.
Okay.
For a year, and then.
Hey, Commissioner Ford, are you all right with that? Well, you
I'm fine with
you
that.
can vote for one, but it's still going to be 12.
Why don't we go with 12?
The problem is, in this area have the other restaurant, Hispanic restaurant too. When the people coming say, I gonna eat, but I need one beer, I say, I can sell beer. So they go for the other restaurant. That's the problem. My business is new. I need to pay rent, everything.
Yeah, we just said you can do it, but you have to shut at 12.
The other restaurant working more than 12.
I get that, but the other restaurant's
And
not
this-
on this,
and
co-
this
the other restaurant's not on this corner.
And in this area, near to the area.
No. This is a problem place you rented.
The people say, before I'm rent this place, I check for, the old department, I can get the license. Everybody say, no problem, you can get a license because before have a license there.
Yeah, but before they had a license and caused a lot of problems. That's the problem.
Because it's the bar, it's restaurants.
That's what you're telling us, but you have to prove it to us.
They want you to prove after 1 year that you're a good business owner, and when you can come back, then we can change the hours if you were good and there were no complaints.
The problem is, I need to pay rent, bill, everything, and the other people coming for my restaurant.
Well, why don't you sit down and tell him what we're willing to do, and then we'll second call it and bring somebody else up here, and you decide whether, it sounds like he's questioning whether he wants to go this route or not, so.
All right, thank you. I'll just explain it to him real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Now we'll try 1632C, TBI Manhattan.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Marek Shvaid of Restaurant Solutions, and
Good afternoon. My name is Natalia Mikichak. I'm a president of the TBI Manhattan Corp.
we're here because last a couple weeks ago we adjourned. Natalia couldn't attend the meeting. Community Board had denied the recommendation. We strongly disagree with their statements. They stated that Natalia doesn't have adequate experience. We stated that she does, managing or working effectively in a place with a full liquor license in Greenpoint.
I saw that myself. I didn't understand what they were saying, because it's obvious to me that she spent a significant amount of time as a manager of a cafe.
It's a cafe with a beer and wine license at first, and then 2013 it turned into full OP. Was a restaurant.
In 2013, it turned into a full
Yeah, full OP.
on-premise?
Yeah. It just
Do we have any history at any of those places?
Which place?
185 Avenue C, the place.
The Brew Inn.
924 Manhattan Avenue.
924 Manhattan Avenue, there's no adverse history. Under the Brew Inn.
It's the same story with 185 Avenue C when the Cafecito used to be. There was a restaurant there for 14 years with zero adverse history. They had a 4 a.m. license. And we asking for actually midnight during the week and 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday and Saturday, really. It is a family restaurant, no DJs, no promoters.
Get away from this family concepts that open till 2 a.m.
Only on Friday and Saturday, Commissioner.
But, you know, the ALJ in the 500-foot hearing report, he wrote, if the menu is enhanced with more full dinner meals and the closing hours are limited to 11 p.m., there might be a public interest.
Can I, Commissioner, present you with the current menu right now? We do actually have children's menu available. The menu is quite comprehensive.
Yeah, that's good. See, that's what makes a family restaurant, when you have children menu.
Brunch menu. And we also have children's menu as well. Booster seats and high chairs and all that.
Do you have crayons?
We do have crayons. We do have crayons, absolutely. Yes. We have kids. I can show you Yelp write-ups that are just all about food, all about restaurant, all about, there's not one write-up from Yelp about drinking, about booze, about bar. This is all about serving comfortable food at we call it urban comfort food at moderate prices.
I don't see a children's menu.
Well, I didn't bring it, but we do have children's menu available.
What's on it?
Sorry?
What's on the children's menu?
We actually have frankfurters. We have linguine with butter sauce.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Linguine butter sauce.
Yeah, linguine butter sauce and frankfurters, and another pasta dish. Yeah. And yeah, there's some kind of PB&J that's a special coating, and like really yummy stuff. Yeah. Again, no DJs, no promoters. Our speakers, size of a Rubik's Cube.
What are the hours the place had before she took it over?
It was 4 a.m.
Okay.
Really, there's no adverse history, Chairman.
No, I know.
What is it right now? Right now it's
she's buying a restaurant.
No, I know, but 2 a.m.
Right now, we actually close at midnight during the week and then 2 o'clock on Friday and Saturday.
That's what you do now?
Yes.
Now meaning
no alcohol.
The
No
current
alcohol, no alcohol.
licensee.
Say
Chairman,
that again, Carrie. Say that again.
is the current licensee 185 Avenue C Corp. Cafe Cito?
Cafecito, correct.
Okay, the hours they had on file with us were Monday through Saturday until, well, I think it's supposed to be 12 a.m. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. they're saying, and Sunday to Monday, noon to 10 p.m. So they didn't have 4 o'clock hours approved by the authority.
Okay. I was just told differently. I was told
the
that.
business she's buying?
I'm sorry?
This is the business she's about to buy?
The restaurant.
She bought it.
But she bought it without
a liquor license,
knowing that it wasn't open till 4 a.m.? It wasn't supposed to
No,
be?
we wasn't. There was not a plan open to 4 o'clock in the morning. It was never a plan.
They placed their license in safekeeping back in April.
What are the hours she's asking for?
midnight during the week and 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday.
But the current place only stayed open till midnight, right?
Right, Carrie?
That was the hours that we had approved. I don't know if they were following them, but those were their approved hours.
Obviously not. It sounds like they weren't.
Yeah, and we didn't impose those hours. This was an older application that they put the hours they would be operating on.
So maybe that's what the operator meant, that they had no limitations.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay if you, based on the menu, you know, the Ukrainian influence, I think there is a public interest argument to be made. I just don't know about the hours, given that the previous place, at least what we have on record, is it was open till midnight. So being a 500-foot case and with the community board opposing it, I would be okay with a midnight close.
See, my problem with the community board opposition in this case is I question how much they looked into this, because they really base a lot of their objection on the fact that she has no experience, and it's quite obvious that she does.
Chairman, can I interject about this statement? They were very, I want to use the word hostile, and at that meeting, that CB3 is notorious for really being very aggressively negative towards new businesses. We submitted, there was not one person in opposition of the application. We had people to speak to in support, were denied to speak. Laura, the owner of Cafecito, showed up. She was denied to speak.
I'm not questioning they would be against it anyway. I don't discount that, and he's right that the hours are
very reasonable.
Well, you asked for 3.
Well,
at least at the community board. That's not reasonable.
Yeah, no, but that's not what we asked.
I'm comfortable. The ALJ says 11, the community board doesn't want it at all, but being that it was previously licensed, I'd be willing to go to midnight as the previous locations stated hours, whether they were adhering to it or not. And then that way, the community board, if this previous operator was open till 4 a.m., will at least get a place that closes at, midnight, So
I'm actually willing to go to 1 o'clock during the weekends.
That'd be great.
12 o'clock during the week, and the stipulation is that there's no live music, no DJs, no promoters, just recorded background music and no dancing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So this, Commissioner Ford?
Would you say Friday and Saturday, 1?
1, yeah, but we made.
I'm at midnight, yeah.
I got midnight there, yep.
Yeah, I had the same impression of the community board's opposition letter. I thought it was kind of weak too. She definitely does have experience, and I can find no reason to deny this. So I approve under the same conditions.
But I need to, which hours? You have to
Which
decide.
one? You have to decide whether it's midnight.
The chairman's?
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
on weekends, yes.
All right, so 1 a.m. it is.
All right.
I'm not changing my vote, though, for the record.
Okay.
He doesn't
Yep.
have to. No.
No, you don't. So Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m., midnight closing the rest of the day.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So, is he back yet? Nope. I don't have your sign-in, Mr. Flynn. Mr. Palillo has not shown up yet? No. And a recall, they're not back yet either for Esquina. Do you want to come up? Then just, we'll wing it at this point.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you get for an
What's the
item?
number?
I can
Oh.
tell you. I have it here if it makes it easier for you. 2016-01586.
1586?
Yes.
JDRC Grill?
Yes, correct.
Offer 1,500.
That's
I
correct.
accept.
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 Thank you.
Next one is 01585.
No problem.
5.
1587.
No, 1585 is the next one.
Five?
Yes.
You do know how to call it out like that. You're just making it hard.
Yeah, okay, that's Yo-Yo Japanese LLC in Las Ramblas.
Yes.
Restaurant. It's
Yes.
an endorsement.
Correct.
So there's this name stop on John
Yes.
Bakshi.
Yes.
Was
If,
one of the.
if I can explain this quickly, I think that it will rectify itself. All the way back in 2012, we filed a corporate change to remove Mr. Bakshi from that license. That was approved. Problem is that when it was approved, one of the people that was approved for a shareholder who only held 4% refused to give the 2 documents that he needed under the conditional approval clause. And because he refused to give those conditions under the conditional approval, the application was denied, and we were left between a rock and a hard place. Subsequently, that license was non-renewed, and the stop was placed. But meanwhile, during the same period of time, another license was issued to this individual where he's still at, and has no adverse licensing history at that location. That's J2 Enterprises.
The issues with 150 RFT Varick predate my time at the authority, but I certainly lived through some of the litigation. That was Whip Greenhouse, the famous.
That's correct.
fight Of Drake.
And he wasn't part of any of that.
Who was it? Drake and
Excuse me?
who was in the fight? It
Oh,
was
that was
Drake and
after,
someone
yeah.
else over
some
Rihanna,
celebrity.
which caused an emergency summary suspension. 150 RFT.
Chris Brown.
Thank
Oh, Chris
you.
Brown. Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you for reading the post.
But again, he had
I knew
already resigned, and we put the resignation in as part of the original application. So he wasn't,
I'm not really following what you want.
I just want the name stop lifted so the endorsement can go through.
But this guy has such a
I
history.
mean, I don't even, yeah, that's my point.
You're
I
saying
got
he
it.
has nothing to do with everything that went on at 150
No,
RFT?
no, wait, Commissioner Kim, I never said that. What I said was when all the problems got very bad there,
Right.
he was out. In
But
fact,
when was he out?
It goes back to 2012, I believe. Hold on one second.
So he was out of
But
2012.
they were a problem in 2012. They were a
No,
problem
they
in
had a problem in
2011.
2012, but he had already been out. This application was approved in 10/19 of 12. When he was approved, it was approved by this board, actually. When he was approved to be removed from the application, there were no outstanding charges left against him at the time.
I came here in October of 2012. Whip Greenhouse was already had a summary suspension before I came here, and we were already
But
in
he
litigation
had
with
already
Mr.
resigned and
Krasinski.
been out. This is when it took a while because of, when he resigned and got out, there had been problems with the new management. He got here and was approved on 10/19 of 2012, but he had already resigned.
And that's neither here nor there. I mean, we have a full page of this guy's negative history, which I have yet to see since I've been here.
Right, but you also have him licensed somewhere else.
I get that. And
Without,
unfortunately, we can't take all of his licenses. But
and you can't say he's, in theory, you can't say he's unlicensable. He's already licensed. And there's no opposition to
yeah,
him.
but I can say I don't have to give him another one.
license.
But I don't see any, if he's conducting himself under a similar operation to what he's doing here. Those were
How
nightclubs.
long has he been doing that? Because we have
About 2 years he's been doing that, Mr.
We've
Chairman.
got, the last cancellation was 4/30/14.
Yeah, but he was out by.
Well, he's out, but he's still on the license.
I understand, but the only reason
I get it, because you couldn't get him
because one person refused. He did everything he was supposed to do. He did everything.
Well, then he was still there in 2012, right? I mean, he was still there in 2011 when the other stuff was going on.
Whatever he had under him was resolved by paying an offer of compromise
No,
to the
but
board.
I mean, look at this stuff. This is unbelievable to me that he's still got licenses, to be honest with you.
He wasn't a problem at the serious.
I'm not saying he is, because it's clear he has many partners. But it seems to me this whole organization is a problem.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that he decided he had to get out was because these guys were doing the problems.
You are who you're seen with.
Well, then that's why he went out on his own 100% at the other location and hasn't had any problems there while he's running it on his own at J2 Enterprises.
Well, I don't know if he's done that long enough for my security.
Well,
but
he's been there
I'll let these
2
two.
years.
That's how I feel. I feel like If he's on his own now, that's great. Let's build up a clean history to wipe or to take away some of this.
Well, if he's been operating for 2 years at a
Negative.
location, as a restaurant, as a location, just as this is going to be run, just under this method of operation, in this hotel, that's what he's been doing for the last 2 years and hasn't had any problems. And
Yeah, but
been
he's got a
conducting that
history,
business-
he's got a history back to 2007, actually 2005, that is negative, that goes all the way up to 2014.
No,
All right, I'll give you 2013.
You should give me 2012, early 2012, because that's when he
But
resigned and got out.
So then we're talking about an 8-year, and we're not talking about like failure to renew and things like that. We're talking about sales to minors. We're talking about assaults. We're talking about disorderly premises, controlled substances. We're talking about disorderly premises, marijuana. You know, these are serious things that are going on, and they went on for 8 years.
Mr. Chairman, I understand, but just the point I'm making is this. When he left this company, there were no open charges because the charges from him he had been dealt with. It came up to the board.
They were still in litigation with Mr. Pizetsky
Not-
over those charges.
They were in litigation, and in fact, I wound up at this podium with Pizetsky at the podium. He explained when he got out, I explained when he got out, that there were charges, and the application was approved by the full board. Then, one of these people refused to give the conditions. Had that had happened, had he had gotten out at that point in time and had been approved, there would never be a stop on his name. Because the reason...
I'm not, I wasn't even, I guess I was aware there's a stop on his name, but that's not why I'm sitting here concerned. I'm sitting here concerned because of what I'm reading.
Okay,
And
if-
I don't know that the stop, that has no bearing on what I'm talking about.
If that has no bearing on what you're talking about, then the only thing I can tell you is that you should look to the same operation that's been running for 2 years at J2 Enterprises without any adverse licensing history is the same operation he's going to run
And
in this
like I
hotel.
said, I think he's going to need to do that longer. But that's.
I agree. He just needs to do it longer.
I'm at
I mean, this really is, I'm not lying to you, this is the worst history that I've seen since I've been here for one individual.
But it's not one individual. It's not all of him.
Well, he's involved in this company, and he's clearly was a major player in it. So it is, you know, I don't care who it is. If it's, I see there's there are other partners with him, but it's still his history. If they came in here, it would be theirs.
But if he has if it wasn't his cancellation, he has no cancellation on his license, no revocation on his license attributable to him, and he has a license where he's currently in good standing with the authority, I really don't understand how you can't say he's not a licensable candidate.
He was an LLC member of, wasn't he an LLC member of a license we canceled?
3, 2 of them. 2 of them, and he surrendered
So what are you
one.
saying? He's not on a license that wasn't canceled?
The license you're talking about, 150 RFT Varick,
No, but
is the one I'm talking about.
But the A1 Entertainment one too. He surrendered that.
That
If
was
he had-
surrendered.
But if he hadn't surrendered it, and that's where he got the name stop.
No, he got the name stop on 150 Varick.
No, I see
That's
here.
what I was told.
No, our records
Our
indicate it
records
was on
say
the other
name
one.
Stop on the other one, A1. So that's why the problem, what you're saying with the shares not being transferred, that's a 150 RFT issue. But the A1 Entertainment, if he didn't have this issue.
That was canceled on the record, for the record, because the license had already been
Well, he
surrendered.
surrendered it, but it would have been canceled otherwise based on this history.
Well, it depends what would have happened at a hearing, if they went to hearing. He
Fair
put it-
enough. But given.
And when the offer
have
cancellation
on
was put
file-
in, just so the record is clear here, when the offer was put in for cancellation on the record, it wasn't put in cancellation on the record with a stop on the license. That was something that the authority did. Had somebody known
it
that there would be
appears here that we have the stop on the one that he surrendered.
Right.
So.
And that was also when you assessed the prior board assessed a $7,500 penalty.
Right. So I don't.
That was done in conjunction with this.
But it's, so I don't, why, you're saying that we accepted the $7,500 penalty and he surrendered the license, and then we just put a stop on it?
Yeah.
But we're allowed to just put a stop on it. The stop has no legal effect. All it does is make it come back to the board.
I understand that.
Okay. Commissioner Ford?
I was adding up all these penalties, I came up with like over 72 grand. I concur with the chairman that this is, in my short tenure, one of the worst ones I've ever seen as well, too.
Well, you've only been here 2 weeks, so.
I've only been here a couple weeks, so.
Give it time.
That doesn't matter quite as much, but I'm not clear that he's been unassociated with all of these as we're being told. I'm not saying that I don't believe you, I'm just saying I'm not clear on it.
Is there anything I can do to clear that up for you, Mr. Commissioner? With regard to 150 Varick, I think it's pretty clear that we can just demonstrate, if you look at the file, the resignation is in there from the period of time, and in 2012, he made the application. It took a while to get to the board by the October date because of the fact that there have been some problems.
They were still a problem in 2011.
There was problems there. I'm not saying there weren't problems, but I'm saying there were problems where the authority took offers and resolved those problems. With regard to the other license that Commissioner Kim brought up, that was a cancellation that we put on record, cancellation and paid a fine, so that matter, with the surrender of the license, so that matter would be concluded and done. And then subsequent to that, he was approved at this other location and has been operating that location for almost 2 years with no adverse history.
What's the name of that location?
That was one that should have gone to the board, but it was not, it
Yes,
was
it's
missed.
called Boutique. It's near the
Boutique.
plaza. It's a restaurant in the evening.
But why
and
isn't
then
it on
it's a
the, why isn't it
nightclub.
on this application?
It is, that's the J2.
Oh, I see it, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
But that didn't come before the board, right? Because if it did, I don't know if that would have gotten licensed.
Nobody even knew the stop was put on. I didn't know the stop was put on.
No, that we don't tell you.
Right, okay,
You
so.
were here at the time. At that time, you were here.
I mean, it's an
'cause you made
internal.
They didn't put a
offer.
stop on it at the
It's
board
an
meeting.
internal thing for us
They
that
did-
basically
they-
says if
I
this
wouldn't
guy
put it on the
applies
agenda if they
again, it
didn't
should be
say it.
coming here.
Well, it wasn't them, it was the other board member.
So Boutique is it is a nightclub at night, and we have no
I
referrals
just,
for
okay.
it.
I
And
don't
this
have- I don't have
operation
any
is a
questions. I
restaurant
mean,
within the hotel.
There's nothing I can't, you know, I realize you want to answer my questions. I just don't have any questions. I have no comfort either. So,
Can I ask one question, just so I have a little guidance going back based upon that comment? How much time is it to establish that you
I couldn't even tell you because I've never seen this before.
you know, because I come here every time there's a meeting, and I'm told, show your good faith by operating properly for 6 months or a year and a half.
I mean, I am a little upset myself. He would never have gotten that license, I can guarantee you, because it would have been me and Commissioner Kim sitting here, and neither one of us would have given him the license he has now.
It wasn't your tenure at that time.
2015 was. I was here then.
That's when Boutique was approved? I thought it was approved
It
before
says
that.
the Bathing Club LLC, that's him?
No. See, that's another restaurant that he
Boutique
had.
was October 1, 2015, and yes, the chairman
So I was
here.
here, and that's
Okay.
not on this application then.
You didn't see it in here.
That's J2 Enterprises, and
Oh,
that's,
it's J2.
Yes, that is
Okay,
DBA
that is-
Boutique. That was issued on October 1st, 2015.
So I was.
that was
No,
issued,
it
but it
was
might have been
10,
approved
16,
before that
13.
point in time.
Wait, why is,
16, 13.
Yeah, it was approved before that point in time. There was
Yeah,
construction.
10.
Yeah. It was before, it was in
what about
13.
this Bathing Club LLC, 8/10/2015?
He just works there, I take it?
No.
He's involved, he was involved, he's involved in the management there, I believe.
But he's not an LLC member?
It says owner LLC manager.
I did not
Well, that
handle,
one did get approved.
So how did that get approved without?
I did not handle that application, so I can't tell you how that got approved.
So he's got 2 licenses right now, is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I handled, which is the same operation as this one, as same operation as the one he's doing here, it's a
That one
restaurant
got
in a
through us
hotel.
Somehow.
Right, that one, the one that you're talking about, I didn't handle, but there's no adverse history at that location
No,
either.
it's not. You seem to be misunderstanding. If there's a stop on this guy's name, that's not your responsibility, that's ours.
I
So if
understand.
anything went on here, as far as it not getting to the board, you had nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
Or
that was
his
ours.
lawyer didn't either, whoever
Right.
the lawyer was.
Yes, I understand. I just, because of clarity, I just wanted to be clear so the commissioner understood what was being
Okay.
done where.
Do you guys have any questions?
Nope.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't, given this history, I just can't grant another license. I don't know how the other two got, or at least the more recent one, You know, with the same history, I would have voted the same way, but it's licensed, and so it's an opportunity for the applicant to, I guess, prove himself over a period of time, which I can't give you a certain date certain, so, or a length of time, so I vote to deny at this time.
I'm going to vote to deny, too. The history that he has is that, whether it's with partners or by himself, but it appears it's with partners, but it's just too extensive for me to give him another license. And I agree with Commissioner Kim. The one that was granted, the Bathing Club LLC, in August, had I known of this history with this individual, I never would have voted for that. It's apparent that didn't come to the board. And he apparently has another active license, and from what we're hearing, he has no history in either one of them, and
No adverse history.
no
correct?
adverse history on either one of them, and should that continue, then I would encourage him to come back, but at least another year, in my view. So I vote to disapprove.
Asking if this is the final determination.
I am asking if this is a final determination,
Commissioner
absolutely.
Ford hasn't voted.
Okay, I apologize.
All right, I concur. I vote to disapprove also.
What's that mean?
Does Mr. Flynn have to file for reconsideration, or can he go file the Article 78 that he intends to file?
Oh, he can file the Article 78.
I have no idea whether that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, but
my job is
yeah,
to ask.
I wouldn't reconsider.
Okay. I didn't think so. but
No,
that's why
we
I
need
asked.
another one just to.
Oh, yeah, no, I won't reconsider.
Do you want the third vote on that?
Yeah, Commissioner Ford,
I want to explain that to him.
If they applied for reconsideration in a month, would you reconsider?
I'll put it the legal way. Mr. Flynn has to exhaust his administrative remedies before he can file an Article 78 action. The board, sometimes it's not an official vote for whether you would reconsider, but if Mr. Flynn can consider this our final determination, and therefore he doesn't have to file the reconsideration.
Yes, I would vote not to reconsider at this time.
Or any time. It's final. It's final.
Thanks very much. Have a very nice
See
day.
ya.
Okay. We recall 1632, Esquina.
So,
can she put her name for the record, please?
say your name for the record.
an outside. Yeah, I put
Oh, no, on the
Could
microphone.
you also come up, please?
No, she just needs to put her name on the record here
Yeah,
in the
she can-
microphone.
Yeah.
I saw already in the record.
Oh, okay, yeah, say your name for the record.
Just say your name into the microphone, please.
Okay, my name is Rosaura Padilla,
And you are,
and his wife, the owner wife.
okay, thank you.
So I spoke with the applicants, and we'd just like to make one final appeal to have 12 a.m. during the week and 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. They're a new business. They're struggling as it is right now to make the rent and the bills. They're catering to a completely different type of customer base than the previous owner, which was a nightclub. And this is a restaurant and more geared toward the Equatorian community, strictly a restaurant. There's no promotions, there's no DJs, there's no live music whatsoever. And, you know, they want to be good actors and good business people. And, you know, maybe they'll come back in a year and ask for more time. But if they can stay up until 1, would be greatly appreciated and would help their business out tremendously. They're facing competition in the area with other restaurants who have already been serving beer. So now that once they have beer, they'll be able to be in competition with them, and to be open till 1 on the weekends will be a great help.
Commissioner Ford? Toss it over.
I said 12 and 1 before, correctly? Yeah, correct, yes. I'm still willing to go
What did we
along
say?
with
We
that.
said 12 and 12?
I said 12 and 12.
Last I was 12 all the way through, 7 days. Nice.
I'll make it easy. I'll go 12 and 1 as well. So 1 o'clock on Saturday, Friday night and Saturday night, and 12 the rest of the week.
Okay, you can just keep my vote the same.
All right.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Okay. How about 1603? Risco Central, Mr. Pullo.
This one's easy.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry if this was called and I wasn't here. Where are these lines of irate neighbors when you need them?
We expected nothing else.
Thank you. I'm usually counting on 10 and 15 irate neighbors to slow you guys down. So. It's an offering compromise.
1,500, accept.
Accept.
Thank you.
Accept.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
1594 Eden Ballroom.
Morning.
Now, this happened 2 days before the license was issued,
No.
because it says that the incident date was September 20th, and the license was issued on September 22nd.
Yes, it does.
So was this a temporary permit situation?
We had none. I don't know how that's possible. This was not a transfer. This is a new license.
There's no mention that
To dismiss.
alcohol was being sold.
Yeah. We weren't open, though. We weren't open.
And the former license was,
But actually here, the workflow, it says the license was issued on September 5th, 2014. So that would make sense. So I think that's a typo on the.
So you were open, right? 2,500, accept.
Accept.
Thank you. See you next week, I guess.
Accept.
It's like a little,
I think they did that to you on purpose that time.
waited.
I think that was on purpose that time.
Very sorry,
All
sir.
right. No problem.
Please come down.
okay. You're up. 1612 and 1613, Harrigan and Sons.
I'm sorry, what number was that?
1612 and 1613.
Thank you.
Good morning, Noreen Healy for the licensee. I submitted a written controversion to some of the charges, the disorderly charges regarding that they were spontaneous and that the licensee wasn't at fault. I cited 2 pages in the transcript where this testimony was, where this testimony occurred. I also challenged the focal point, the pattern of disorder, and the improper supervision. I challenged the 911 points, 911 calls, and the 311 calls also. I won't get into details because it's all in my papers.
I would also point out that this was originally before the members in November. Because the licensee switched attorneys, the licensee has been able to operate this whole time, since November to July. And so has gained that benefit of all those times operating, where I believe the members I would have suggested a penalty of revocation back in November, but because of this switch of attorney has operated continuously.
Well, why did it happen that the switch of attorney delayed them coming
Did it
before
just-
the board?
did it-
Because they obtained a new attorney and the board said, we're waiting for the new attorney to submit their letter of controversion.
And then the client and I had lost touch, and I didn't think I was still representing him. And then I got a courtesy, received notice that the case was on a couple weeks ago, and I contacted the client, and he contacted me back. And then I quickly did the controversion and went through the transcript.
So prior to the few weeks ago, then, may I address the applicant? The licensee, I'm sorry, you didn't obtain another attorney since November?
He
He obtained me. I was
Oh, but then
representing
you
him.
lost touch, you said, at some point.
Right.
When was that,
Um,
approximately?
in the spring, in the,
So how-
in that late winter, spring.
Right. Now, I just want to ascertain how diligent the licensee was in pursuing this, or just kind of going along thinking, how long can I stretch this out before appearing before the board?
Absolutely not. He cured every single violation. He has a security contract with a licensed security guard. A lot of the charges have to do with the security. He knows now to have the roster. I submitted the contract and to show that he has that. He took down the DJ booth. He took down the tent. The fire extinguisher's back on the wall. The signs are all up. He knows the seriousness of this. He definitely knows the seriousness of this. His life investment is in this place. And I don't think he has had any problems with the police, according to he's told me, in the last year and a half. I don't think there's anything. I think he pulled it together. The place only holds 74 people.
I mean, the amount of fines here, the chairman was saying in the previous case, he's never seen such a long history. I've never seen such a high total added up. It's over $28,000 in just fines, plus I didn't even add in the sustained pattern of noise and disorder on 2 separate charges, as well as 2 focal points for police attention. So I don't know if I'm left with any choice aside from having to cancel and bond this, and maybe even revoke.
The sustained pattern and the focal point, and they are overlapping charges, although there's 2. One was dated January 15th of the same year and March of the same year.
Right.
And the ALJ said that they overlap. They're basically the same charges.
Okay. So
And I think with
Longer dates, though. One goes earlier and the other one goes further. They're not, the dates don't entirely overlap.
But he was cleaning up
I think it was March of 15 to January of 15.
Oh, then I could be wrong. I mean, that's the problem I have, is that
2 months.
Cleaned up a crime scene, and the testimony was that he had apparently done the same thing previously, and the police directed him not to do that, and he did it again anyway. And that's just, and I'm picking out one, as Commissioner Kim said, one of, it looks like over 24 charges.
Well, a lot of,
We have shootings, we have stabbings, we have, it's.
the shooting was not sustained. The
Right.
stabbing was spontaneous. It happened within less than a minute. I've cited to the transcript where it's 10 to 15 seconds, it's 30 seconds, it's within a minute. That the licensee
Yeah, but you're
wasn't.
also talking about a place that a guy came in with a gun, he wasn't patted down, and it's a place that has extensive violent history, at least recent violent history. And there was no security that would even pat a guy down, which allowed him to get the gun in there. And he pistol whipped a guy. Am I wrong about that?
He hit him twice, I believe. I came up for the tape and it wasn't on the tape that I got. He struck him in the face with the gun.
I mean, the stuff that's gone on here during a 2-year period and the amount of police attention that it required, demanded. I didn't even bother adding up what the fines would be, because I'm with counsel that I don't see how I can let this place stay open. So I'm going to, I would vote to revoke if I could get somebody to agree with me, but I'll accept cancel.
And are we looking into Precision Security? They're selling contracts to bars out there.
We don't have any jurisdiction over Precision Security.
Okay.
That's a AG issue.
Can we refer it to the AGs?
But I think if you read the controversion and you see the evidence and the testimony, there's not substantial evidence to support the charges.
Well, that's for a judge to decide. I believe there is. So, the 3 got dismissed, and I think they were properly dismissed. But the other ones, I think, were properly sustained.
Yeah, I'll dismiss charge 6, 7, 11 in the first proceeding.
4, yeah, so 4 charges.
5 charges. And then there's, 4, sorry. And then charge 4 in the second proceeding. For the rest, cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Well, you had revoke if you.
No, but I said if you
Well,
guys
I said
are-
cancel, he can decide if it's.
He said cancel, so we'll go cancel.
All right.
Cancel and bond.
Okay, is this a final determination for Article 78 purposes?
It's an imposition of a penalty. Would you file for reconsideration for it?
Well, I'm
It is.
asking you.
It is, yes.
It is.
You can? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you go through the rest of the items?
Yep.
We good?
Yep.
All right, starting with 1569.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1570.
2,000.
2,000.
2,000.
1571.
2,500 accept.
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 1572.
Dismiss 3. I dismissed 3, I think, because it was one of those. And then offer 3,000 accept.
Oh, it's an on-premise. You can charge failure to supervise with the on-premise.
Oh, okay. Then 4,500. I'll accept the 3,000.
And dismiss still? So I'll dismiss
Yeah.
3-2 and the 3,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford?
I concur.
Easy enough. 1573.
600 accept.
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 1574.
1,000 accept.
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 1575.
I
This is
have.
bizarre.
Yeah. But they surrendered, so charge 3, dismiss, sustain 1, 2, 4, and 5, cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Did you enjoy reading it?
It was, it was
It was
all,
really-
it was an immigration scam.
1576.
Cancel and bond accept,
Accept.
Accept.
1577.
6,000 accept,
Accept.
Accept.
1578.
2,500 accept,
Accept.
Accept.
1579.
2,000 accept,
Accept.
Accept.
1581 and 82.
Okay, now these guys, they've had 2 violations for no public assembly. It's the second time. Do they have it?
I can send enforcement out.
Yeah,
or you
because
can-
if they do, then I'm willing to counter, but, so what do? We counter and then send enforcement out?
You could, no, you can either, then we can send enforcement out. If they still don't have it, we'll prosecute them again. Or if you want to adjourn it for them to appear and speak to them, you could do that.
I think it's just a common, that's what they're doing.
Do they have a, yeah, they have an attorney.
Just bring them in.
Bring them in
Over to next week or August?
August.
So that's over.
8/16. Okay. 1584.
I had the same thing, bringing these guys in.
It was worse than that.
It was worse? Yeah.
I mean, these guys,
Yeah, they're supposed to be closed
3:45
at
and they close
11
at
p.m.
11.
Yeah,
And then the next time they're open at
2:55. Okay, well, I'm cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond, that's where I,
Cancel. Cancel and bond.
1587.
1,000 accept.
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 1588.
Yeah, they offered 6, but, I mean, I take 3, just one
Okay,
sale to mine.
3.
3.
3 it is.
1589.
So these guys, their license is in safekeeping, but they're selling?
That's what I didn't understand either.
So that's why I didn't understand that either.
That date has to be wrong. How long has the license been in safekeeping, Jackie?
We checked, it is still in safekeeping.
Oh,
No,
really?
when did it start?
Oh, when
though?
did it start? 11/10 of 2015.
So, and they sold still, right?
And they were selling and
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Counteroffer?
you can, it's a CNC.
It showed that a 90-day temp was issued to another serial number, though, on that same date it was placed in safekeeping, so let me check that. Maybe we have it against the wrong licensee.
90
So we've
days, December,
charged-
January, February. But even 90 days, it still would have expired unless we extended
Yeah,
that
yeah.
90 days.
Unless we
Yeah, I
actually,
just want to see if we
So we've
issued
charged
any
the wrong business
further.
then.
We might have issued further.
Oh,
But they, it looks like they withdrew in December.
Yeah, no, that licensee is gone, but it was issued the same, yeah. They're gone.
So we charged the wrong license, so council's office is moving to dismiss.
okay, dismiss.
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 And what do you do now? Go charge the right one?
Was the license ever issued
No,
to the
no.
other?
Jackie, that was, I'm sorry, that one, the temporary permit expired 2/7/16.
But did we ever issue
No,
a
we never issued the license.
So then it's not.
2/7/16?
Yeah, 'cause that's
so
90
they were
days, right?
totally
So
unlicensed.
they must
but
have
were
gone
selling.
back into business.
Right, so cancel and bond then, right? Because they were selling underage without a license.
But while their license was still in safekeeping, they were selling then.
So there can't, but, right. so
Right.
Okay, but you can't cancel
Oh,
a
you
bond
gotta
because it's a
counter.
CNC. You can
You
count.
counteroffer.
cancel and bond.
Right, so I cancel and
Counter,
bond.
cancel, and bond.
Counter,
The
cancel,
record-
bond.
So the record's clear when they watch this, that was because the license was in safekeeping and they were caught selling to a minor.
Okay. 1590,
500 accept,
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 1592,
cancel and bond.
cancel, and bond.
counteroffer, cancel and bond.
Yes, please. Counteroffer, cancel and bond.
Got it.
It's on 1592.
It was fourth one.
Commissioner Ford?
cancel and bond.
Thank you. 1593,
Letter of warning, accept.
Accept,
Accept,
1595, the members granted the adjournment to August 16th. 1596,
2000 accept.
it's 3,000. Oh, no, I have, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Pardon.
Up. Accept,
accept,
1597,
Letter of warning,
accept,
accept.
accept,
1598,
3000 accept.
Why no gambling charge here?
I'm sorry,
Why no gambling charge here?
because it wasn't on the premise. I do think it's a low offer.
Oh, it was in the basement. Okay, I'll take the 3,000. Accept,
accept,
1599,
1500,
1,500.
1500,
1600,
1500. Oh, 1600.
Well, see,
3500.
3,500.
for untaxed cigarettes.
Yeah, that's,
Prior history too.
Oh, prior history, 3,500, yes.
okay. 1601,
so this was under a temporary permit? they were doing
Right.
this?
Yes.
their request for reconsideration is sitting on my desk.
They want to be reconsidered on the 7,500?
No, they want to be reconsidered on the disapproval of the application for selling to the minors. So if they resolve the sale to minors,
Okay.
What
it
is
might
that?
look more favorable on them.
So, accept?
Yeah,
7500.
yeah, accept,
Accept,
1602,
1000 accept.
accept,
how much did you say, Commissioner Kim?
1000, offer of
All right.
1000 accept.
1,000, yeah. I thought I heard you say 10,000. I
Oh,
want to make sure I had the right figure. All right.
Yeah.
1604,
Offer 2000 accept.
accept,
65.
3500
Sorry. I'm sorry.
3500 accept.
accept,
On 1605, we have a request to adjourn to 8:16. You granted that through email yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
The licensee would like to appear. All right, 1606.
Cancel and bond accept.
accept,
Accept,
1607. This is being adjourned to the first meeting in September. So hang on to the pack.
last adjournment for them.
I'll mark it as the last, final. 1610 and 11.
16, 10, and 11. Hold on. It's my 16. 7, 10, and 11. Oh, okay. Offer 7500 accept.
Accept,
accept,
1615.
I had 500
that's
for
what I
them.
have, 500.
Counter, I guess.
No, it's
Oh,
accepted with
500.
circumstances.
Okay,
Yeah,
500.
they're going to low,
They would like to reduce it to
We're
500.
going lower.
saying 500.
500,
Okay. 1616.
2500 accept.
Accept,
accept,
Stuck. 1617.
Cancel plus 1,000 civil penalty accept.
accept,
accept,
1618 and 19.
Cancel and bond accept.
accept,
accept,
1620.
I accepted it because long history, even though it should have been a little higher, but 1,500 accept.
accept,
accept,
1621.
3,500 accept.
accept,
accept,
1622.
I'd bring these guys
I
in.
do too.
To appear
Yes, please.
next week or August?
August,
816.
or you, Not here next week?
I'm not here next.
8:16.
All right. 1623,
Letter of warning, accept.
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 1624,
3,000, accept.
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 1626,
35, I had 3,500.
Counter 3,500.
Counter 3,500.
got it. 1627,
Dismiss.
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 1628,
What is this charge, 2,000 normally?
I had been trying to push it a little harder because
So what
This is, you've been doing 5,000, and it seems like the licensee doesn't understand the charge, because they're totally entitled to buy wine from Southern Wines and Spirits, they just can't sell it to go.
we've been getting a lot of complaints from the liquor store industry about this happening, particularly in New York City. So
Particularly in
we had 5,000.
Yes, 5,000.
5,000,
5,000.
1629,
1,500, accept.
What is this alcohol?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? Is this that?
It looks like it's one of the root beer drinks.
Probably like the kombucha.
Root beer. Says,
So what's that? Like a malt liquor kind of thing?
it
All right,
should
I'll
be.
accept as
Let's go
well.
home and try brew it. Extract roots.
Commissioner Ford? I'm sorry, I didn't hear your vote.
Accept.
Okay, thank you. 1630,
All right, now this one, I was going to grant it, and then just reading through the emails from our staff, they thought
still
that.
deficient.
No, but still
Yeah,
deficient, but
it's very
they were suspicious that Nancy Ha's social security number was all wrong and that they think that there's something else going on here.
Yeah, it was denied for fair to comply in November of 2015 by local licensing board. Members upheld it in December 2015. And we said that Nancy Ha we believe she was an undisclosed interest. And I don't think that they've proven that she wasn't. So this would be a new application at the very least to
Okay.
set the facts straight.
All right, so we send it, okay, the reconsideration, and they need to send it back?
No, you're
No,
saying
just
you're
saying-
saying it should be a new
I'm saying you
application.
should uphold the disapproval.
Oh, uphold the disapproval.
So
Deny the
deny.
reconsideration.
Right.
Okay.
Denied.
Got it. 1632B,
Wasn't this for them to appear?
Yes, it was bring them in.
yeah, well, they
They didn't
chose
show
not
up?
to.
All right.
The pizzeria with no pizza?
Picky.
But he has fish and chips. Or
Why
no,
don't we
just
counter
chips.
with
Last time you countered with 12 and then decided to have it over.
so let's counter with cancel and bond and then see
Oh.
if they come in.
I'm thinking of the wrong one, I'm sorry. D or B?
B as in
B as
boy.
in boy.
Oh, I had the wrong one.
But we told them to bring them in.
Mhm.
And we did 12 and they didn't come in, or we said bring them in.
So I would just counter with cancel and bond. I think
Yeah,
someone will get the message.
Cancel and bond.
Okay, got it.
Cancel and bond.
1632D,
This was
That's
bring
the
them in
pizza.
also.
Right, that's the pizza without no pizza.
They clearly have a sign problem here.
and there was to appear, and they chose not to.
And they got the notice?
I didn't personally deliver it to them.
Sustained
But it's
charges.
the new argument today.
Sustained
This one we
charge.
could just fine them.
Yeah, you could.
All right, but then if they don't have pizza,
They
Then
get
they can come
banged
back
again.
on recon.
all right. So we sustain charges 1 and 2 and 2750.
2750.
Yeah, because emergency exit signs 250, failure to comply, and then 2,500 for failure to conform.
2750, $2,750.
$50.
I wrote it out to you guys. I suggested amounts.
So leave Albany on for a minute.
Hey, Commissioner
Oh, whoa,
Ford,
whoa, I'm not done. I am
Oh,
not done.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. We added one item that was carried over indefinitely. Hang on, I'm going to add it quick. It's Rockaway Brewing. It was carried over for them to submit some documentation, but we had no date scheduled. They have tendered a withdrawal of the application letter, so I'm actually putting it back on to notify the board that the application is withdrawn.
Oh, okay.
So all you got to do is duly noted.
Duly noted.
Okay, thanks. Okay, now, are we done with the meeting?
We are done with the meeting.